Welcome to the February 17th Township of Lower Makefield Zoning Hearing Board. We have 5 matters on our agenda. Before we get to them, I just want to do a couple shout outs. First, I want to thank Pete Solar, who diligently served as zoning board for past his one term. Just always had just was the rock of this board. That's how I feel. We're going to miss him. Pete, thanks for your dedication. And I also like to make an announcement that we're welcoming Mr. Larry Borda. This is his first meeting, and he's a new member to our zoning board. So thanks, Larry, for your participation. All right, first up on the agenda is Appeal Z-25-48. They've requested a continuance to March 17th, 2026. Any discussion from the board? Is there any public comment in the room regarding this matter or online? All right, will someone like to make a motion?
I'd like to move to grant the continuance request to March the 17th for Appeal Z-25-48.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, next up on the agenda is Appeal Z-2547, LISANTI, APSDEN. Please come forward.
Would you each please state and spell your full name?
It's Stephen Aspden, spelled Stephen Aspden.
David Lisanti, last name is Lisanti.
You both solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give you with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thanks.
Adam?
All right, we have the application as A1, site plans as A2. A3 is going to be the impervious surface breakdown calculations, as well as the stormwater management, small project volume control. B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Thank you, Adam. All right, gentlemen, you have the floor. Please present your case.
So my wife and I have lived in Lower Makefield for 10.
Please pull the microphone over.
My wife and I have lived in Lower Makefield for 10 plus years. I would like to put a pool in for us and our family. 2 younger kids in school here. We don't want to move anywhere else. We'd like to stay in our house where we enjoy our neighborhood and our neighbors, and like to present what we'd like to do.
I'm Dave Lisanti. I'm the engineer that helped prepare the plans that you guys are reviewing. So I'm here to answer any questions that you have. The pool is going in the rear yard in a flat area. Generally, the entire property is flat, at least in the rear yard. And the pool is relatively modest in size compared to average pools that are going in this area. The applicants are looking to maintain their existing patio area in the back and place the pool close to it and attach to it so that they can have a minimal amount of new impervious to be installed. So they're required to have a minimum amount around any kind of prefab pool for structural reasons. So around the majority of the exterior, there's going to be at least 3 feet of concrete. So that's the bare minimum. And then there'll be a little bit of additional concrete that attaches to the existing paver patio and a couple of new deck steps that lead up to the existing deck. So all in all, the new impervious is going to be about a little under 500 square feet. So they're currently over by about 600 square feet. So the impervious surface ratio is only 0.13. So 13% is very low. They're currently at about like 16.7%. They'll be going up to about 19.6% once the pool's installed. So the overage will be about 1,087 square feet. We're proposing stormwater management to meet the township's requirements. Underground seepage bed will be installed on the downslope side of the pool So everything running from the pool and maybe some additional existing areas will flow towards the inlet, the storm structure, and it'll enter the seepage bed. Any
Okay.
questions?
Board, questions?
You're going to reduce it down to what effective rate? What percentage?
Well, the project itself, right now, what you're looking at on the plan is designed just for the project area. But if we were to design the seepage bed to mitigate the entire 1,087 square foot of overage, then the effectiveness would be a ratio of 0.13, if that's how you're looking at it, which would meet the requirement, meet the maximum requirement
Gotcha.
for the lot.
Dan, did you take a look at the specs for the mitigation?
Yes, that's correct. Everything Mr. Lisanti said is accurate in terms of the percentages and the size of the subsurface stormwater bed.
So it takes it back to an effective of 13%?
Correct.
Okay. Any additional questions from the board? Is there any public comment in the room? Is there any public comment online? No one online. Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion?
So I will move to approve Appeal Z 25-47 as presented with the effective rate bringing the impervious surface down to 13%, subject to township approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
At this time, Appeal Z-26-1, 490 Liberty Drive, please come forward. Or are they online?
Online.
Oh, there we go.
Would you state and spell your full name, please?
Sure. Colin Craig, COLIN CRAIGE.
Anybody else with you going to testify?
No, just me.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you.
All right, we have the application as A1, two-sheet site plans as A2, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
All right, Colin, you have the floor.
Great. So yes, I am from MUNZ Construction. I'm representing our client, Jen DECAMARA. She's on a flight to California right now and could not make the meeting, unfortunately. But we're proposing to build two small additions, both under 200 square feet, where her existing impervious coverage is at 23.3%, and the proposed after these two outbuildings will be 25.5%, where the allowable on her property is 18%. So what we're proposing is stormwater management to get her back to the allowable 18%. There is two plans provided, mainly because I'm not sure that she's decided between the two, but both, according to our calculations, would be sufficient in order to get her back to the allowable 18% after all is said and done.
All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it. I could say also, as far as the aesthetic of the buildings, we do plan on, she recently had her house re-sided, so we do plan on matching the siding that she did on her house on these two structures as well.
Okay. I'm looking at these plans, and when I was home doing this preparing. What am I missing? They appear to be the same.
So the one on the left has the option for the rain garden for stormwater, and I believe the one on the right is for 3 dry wells. Is that correct?
So the one on the left, you're correct in that one has 2 dry wells in a rain garden, and one has 3 dry wells, essentially.
Thank you. All right,
Yeah,
board.
I just don't believe the client has decided on which direction she wants to head, but again, both should be sufficient.
So were any specs provided for the dry wells so our engineer could?
Yeah, so there were, if the board were inclined to approve it, I would just say, subject to approval by the
Subject to-
township engineer, because to be honest, the combination of the dry well and the rain garden, I wasn't really sure how to calculate it.
Okay.
But either way, Jim or Kyle can look at it if you were to approve it.
In terms of topography, how does the water flow towards the rain garden, the 3 dry wells? Can you give us an idea?
Right now, yeah, right now our backyard is pretty flat. I mean, after all this is said and done, I imagine if she goes the rain garden route, she's gonna have it graded in such a way where that would accommodate. And then you could see on the plan for the 2 dry wells in the front yard, there's little dotted lines showing which downspouts will be draining into each of those 2 dry wells in the front yard.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Yeah, real quick, the future path between the buildings and the rear deck, is that included in the impervious surface calculation?
No, that's not included in the impervious, and we've honestly kind of are steering her in a way to make that either to be like a mulch is kind of what we're deciding, because we're already, like I mentioned, over our impervious. So to do all this to get her back to 18, we're trying to steer away from doing anything additionally on top of that. So nothing is currently included there in the scope or the impervious calculations.
I mean, is that something that we can specifically put in to say that there's no future paths to be installed?
Yeah, I think you could make that a condition. I also think it'd be recommended just because, say if this were to get approved, they would need an additional variance if the future path was something that was impervious. So,
They would have to come back.
Come back.
and they would have to come back and,
I mean, they'd have to go through the permit process again, the application fee, that sort of thing. So
yeah.
maybe trying to save her $500 down the road.
Yeah, at this time, yeah, she wasn't sure what she was doing there, and she's aware that that is not included in this application.
Is there a way to modify the dry wells to maybe compensate for those future paths, just in case they do happen in that way? I mean, can you propose that they're it's a subject to that, or is that kind of doesn't make sense?
You could for the dry well, but I think there would need to be an additional variance because what was advertised in the scope of work didn't include the future path. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, the impervious specs that were presented in the application would then be changed. So to your point, we would have to they would have to re-advertise. So I just don't even think we wander near that if we're going to approve this.
Technically,
Understood.
are they required, I'm sorry. Technically, are they required to get a permit to do these footpaths absent the impervious surface issues?
That would be a question for Dan, but I would think if they're doing
If it was,
like mulch, no.
yeah, to Jim's point, if it was just like mulch or general landscaping, they wouldn't need a permit. But if it was something that was like structural or impervious, they would need a permit.
I'll make her aware of that.
Any additional questions? Is there any public comment in the room? Any public comment online? Would someone like to make a motion?
I move to approve Appeal Z26-1 as presented with the effective impervious surface rate to be 18%, subject to approval by the township engineer.
Hold on before I ask for a second. Adam, we basically have two presentations, so should we be using language like as presented? I'm wondering if we don't want that language in there and we just kind of stick to mitigating, we mentioned the existing 23.3 going up to 25.5, being mitigated back to an 18% based on township approval. Thoughts on that?
I don't think it's wrong either way. I think as presented kind of does incorporate the fact that we talked about the path.
It's either or,
and
right?
that how they end up doing it as far as whether it's, 2 and 1 or 3 for the stormwater mitigation, that can still be left to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure we
I don't
got
think-
it right. So
Yeah.
it sounds like Christian
And
got it right and we're
and
right.
as presented also incorporates, like I said, the fact that the path is not included in that, and if it is, they're going to have to come back.
Would someone like to second that? We have a second. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. We have 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next on the agenda is Appeal Z-26-2, 926 Putnam Drive. If you're in the room, please come forward.
Please state and spell your full name.
Harold Donovan, HAROLD, DONOVAN.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Okay, we have the application as A1, the site plans, which is 2 sheets as A2. Again, the impervious surface and stormwater management will be collectively marked as A3, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
All right. Mr. Donovan, please have at it.
Yeah, so I am looking to build a patio. Currently, there's an existing patio behind my house, but I'm looking to increase the size of it, as well as build a shed at the top of my driveway. So this is a pre-1987 build. This is a Yardley hunt. So the impervious surface allowed is 18%. The current house, as it is today, sits at about 19.1%. I'm proposing, based off of the square footage, to bring it up to 25.6%, and then mitigate that down using an infiltration trench to the effective 18%. If you look at the impervious surface calculation spreadsheet, I also included, for completeness, the proposed trees that I plan to put at the back of the property there, as well as the existing trees. Those were not taken into consideration to bring it back to the 18%. So if you included those, it would end up being at about 11.5, but I didn't consider those because I know that the board doesn't necessarily favor using trees as effective impervious surface mitigation for projects of this size.
That's correct. Thank you. Anything else you'd like to say?
I think so. The infiltration trench is planned to intercept roof leaders primarily from a majority of the roof over the house.
So are you planning on doing 1 or 2 infiltration trenches? It looks like the one says optional.
Yeah, as of right now, I was just planning on doing the 1. If the way that it works right now, there is a roof leader off of the back that kind of pools near the garage. So I'm at least going to direct that away. And then if there's something small that I put back there, just as kind of a catch, then I might end up doing that. But as of right now, as the plan stands, it's just going to be that one large infiltration trench.
So this is a pretty significant patio. Generally, I don't like to tell people how they should and shouldn't use their house, but you're seeking to go up to 25.6% with appears to be an 1,100 square foot patio. Is there any possibility of reducing that?
So initially it was a little bit bigger. The shape was a little bit different. I am open to it, but as of right now, this was the.
I mean, that maybe the shed. Like, what would be more preferable sitting in your seat? Because the shed looks pretty large as well.
Yeah. Preferably, if I were to do something. I mean, it was bigger initially in the plans that we had. If I were to do something at all, it would be cutting from the side near the infiltration trench and adding like landscaping on that side, as opposed to going full to the edge of the house.
You talking about the patio?
Yeah, the patio going to the edge of the house in the back.
I'm just spitballing here. So, anyone else?
What are your overall dimensions of that patio area alone, just the patio?
The back of the house is 56 feet long. The patio is 18 feet deep, like off the back of the house. 56 by 18.
And the slab that you have for the shed, I see it going back on a bit of an angle. That back left-hand corner, looking at the plan, how far is that from the property line?
It has to be at least 10 feet, and the plan in there is 10 feet. I think it's closer. It might be like 11.8, but it's at least 10 feet there.
And you had indicated in your application a shed or a garage. Have you decided what you were going to do there?
It's not going to be a garage, like a typical garage door. It's just at what point do you call a shed a garage? You could call it a shed, you could call it.
So you're talking possibly a shed with the doors big enough that a car can park in it?
Yeah.
I got you. And the other, I guess the only issue I have here is there's no elevations indicated on any of these plans that show us what the topography is, which way water runs from the house, front, back, sides, at all. So it's kind of hard for us to look at this in that standpoint and determine where the rain is going to run.
So I did draw those arrows back there. I wasn't about to put some contour lines on the drawing that I made. The arrows are a little cartoonish, but it does give a direction of the water. It does slope. If you're looking at it straight on to the right towards that infiltration trench, that is one of the lower points of the property. Yeah. So it flows to the back of the property and then towards the right. And then picks up, I want to say like another house over, and then heads to the street.
Okay.
So this is all an open patio, no covering on it or any kind?
Correct.
And it's 56 feet wide?
Yes.
And when you talked about perhaps lessening either the width or the depth, I think you addressed the width. Can you elaborate a little bit on what you said, what you would do and how much you would do?
The how much is unclear at the moment, but it's the carving out a little bit from that side on the right side of the house if you're looking at the plan, and then putting potentially like landscaping there to surround the patio to catch a little bit additional water runout. Yes, yeah. The trench would be there, and I assume if there were any changes, it would be sized appropriately.
And is the 56 feet, is that designed to accommodate any specific doors or openings in the house?
No, that it's not. It's just the full span of the back of the house, yeah.
I see you also have an arrow that the water runs off towards Putnam Drive. So is your house kind of on a crown?
It is. Some pump doesn't run very often,
Okay.
but it pops when it does. Back in the summer of '23, there was a bad rain that happened then. The sump pump comes out on the right side of the house as well and feeds into the same, it's not really leader, but it's horizontally on the ground underneath the side of the house and then spits it out maybe 10 feet or so. So if there was a very bad rain, it would be collected in the same infiltration trench. So the sump pump would pump out into the infiltration trench as well.
Where are the front downspouts on the house? Where do they go to?
The front downspouts are that corner where the arrow runs off into Putnam Drive.
Okay, so on a heavy rain, is it fair to say that possibly water could run down your driveway and off your property?
Yes, it does at that spot, yeah.
When I look at this plan and I see, by the way, thanks for, I mean, I know it's not an engineered plan with topographical markings, but
I did my best.
no, I thought you did a good job. Might as well save money. You explained it well. I mean, I'm thinking, like, I think I can probably get behind this, but like, I'm thinking maybe rather than have this huge infiltration trench on the side, right side, I'm thinking like 3 reasonable size infiltration trenches, one in the front of the house to catch the front rain leader, one on the right side and one on the left side. So maybe the same capacity of trenches just in 3 different locations. Is that something that you might be agreeable to?
So I can agree to the 2 in the back. The only reason I wouldn't want to do in the front is because that's where all the utilities go into the house. Some of them are shallow as is. I had a Comcast dug a line recently. I would have to get them to dig that out and replace it. That's also where the main electrical comes into the house. So I want to try to avoid digging there. I'm not opposed to putting something that just flows towards the street in a pop-up, but I don't know if an infiltration trench in the front.
I'm just trying to figure out how we tie that front rain leader into one of the 2 proposed infiltration trenches. That's all.
There's a drain that's at the front of the property. On bad rains, it does just follow the outside of the driveway and then goes down the sidewalk into the drain there. So I'm not as worried about that because it quickly gets to a good destination for rainwater runoff. It's the ones on the side and the back there that I believe is more important to.
From the township perspective, though, that's problematic, right? Even though it's going into a storm sewer. So to your point is, it's not directly affecting one of my neighbors. It's going into a storm sewer. The storm sewer is then going to dump it into a tributary, and that's where it affects like neighbors downstream, wherever downstream might be. So when we talk about stormwater mitigation, we're trying to keep everything, as much of your stormwater on your lot as possible, right? When we get reasonable amount of rain. So like reasonably, there's no way to put an infiltration trench, a 3rd one left of the driveway, say.
So I didn't show it in here because I didn't put any of the trees in the front yard, but there is a tree there that has a very shallow, wide root system.
Yeah, I see
where
it.
I would be worried about possibly damaging that tree. And I really like that tree.
No, I see it. It's reasonable. And then we have a tree on the right side of the property in the front.
Right.
Okay. I feel like I'm the only one talking. James, you usually have something to
Yeah,
say.
I was going to, actually, I wrote down front trench as well, so I was thinking kind of the same thing. Maybe if it's not directly in front of where that, where you think the utilities are, maybe even offset if you're looking at the house to the right before you get to that larger tree. I'm just looking at a front image of, I guess, when the house was sold. I have a math question for Dan. What would the patio size have to be in order for him to not need a variance or needs a slightly less variance than what he's asking for?
He's already,
He's currently, so anything that he adds,
A lot of the
19.1.
homes in Yardley Hunt are already
over?
Pretty much every
Okay.
house in that development.
And then as far as from an application standpoint, if it was the patio or the shed, which one would you campaign for if you had to choose one? It's like Sophie's choice.
Well, I would want a shed eventually. The idea behind this was originally I was going to submit a patio and only do the patio, but I thought that it would be more inclusive and to get a full picture to say, well, this is all the stuff that I want to do that could affect the impervious surface of the house. I might as well put it all in the application and get a full picture. So if I were to take one out, so the patio would be number one, but if I were to take one out, then I would likely be back here, and I think that we would have the same conversation. I believe that we can solve it now, or
Yeah.
at least I'm hopeful
Yeah, I
to.
mean, I think that most of us agree that a 56-foot long patio across the back of an entire house probably is excessive. I can't speak for the others on the board, but it seems like it would be, typically a patio is, 18 by 18, 20 by 20. 56 by 18 is pretty large. So I think for me, if we can maybe cut that in half and do some kind of front trench, to Jim's point, to maybe mitigate some of the water that's coming off the front of the house as well, and get you back to where you are from an effective impervious, I think that, it's something I would be in favor for.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could do, I don't think you're going to need a huge front trench. Like if we're talking about a front trench, like I get the limitations you have, right? So they're fair. I think you can probably, I'm thinking you can squeeze it in somewhere. I mean, maybe right in front of that room that's 221 square feet. I mean, do we have utilities coming in on that? Like they coming in everywhere?
As far as I know, it's just that front corner.
What front corner?
Where the blue arrow starts from the garage.
Okay, so on the, like kind of coming up towards the garage, and it seems weird that they would be coming into the garage because the garage is slabbed. I would think they would be moved over a little bit. Like
That's where my main panel is.
So are you talking about running parallel to the driveway? Or are you talking about it being?
Well, there's a lot, I mean, it could be,
You got to turn on your microphone.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I think I'm on. Am I on?
Yeah, if
I'm sorry.
And it could be a square, so it may actually be a square, but if it was rectangular, I don't have a preference on how it's configured. I'd just like to see something that could manage just the one rain leader in the front of the house. That's all, Larry.
So if you ran parallel to the driveway, would that avoid the utility issues?
No, I think that's the issue there.
That's where your electric is.
Right.
It's all right there, right adjacent to the driveway.
Dan, do you have a front view? You can just, a street view Google? Because it looks like everything.
Doesn't it look like it's just the garage? I mean, it's 21 feet. He picks up the rest of the entire house, so every one of the leaders. So if you look at that picture, it's the 21 feet of the garage. All the rest of the leaders are hitting you know what I mean, the dry wells and then the optional dry well. So if you put a bigger optional dry well in, I mean, you miss out on that front corner, but I mean,
I see what you mean, Mike, yeah.
you're picking up, I mean, it's the smallest portion of the roof.
But so that front, second floor, that front gutter, where does that go? That goes down to the garage. So
Yeah,
that
that's
goes to the
catching it
garage,
too.
and then the garage goes down to that lead.
Yeah, but he could take it over to the other side, just like he has in the picture there, and pick up that other dry well. So you'd get 3/4 of the roof in all the dry wells. Just reverse the gutter, put the gutter that way. That's the way the picture looks.
Over
I
the
see what you
garage or
mean.
the whole building?
No, the top, where the whole second floor.
The main building?
If the gutter's all ran that way, he would pick up all the dry wells and just miss out on the 21 feet of just the garage space that you're looking at there.
So-
It's not perfect, but it's picking
Just to be
up.
clear, what's happening now is everything's going from the right corner all the way over to the left corner of that second floor, down to the garage, and everything from the garage is going down, and that same lead is what you're speaking of, that you have spillover?
The front, besides that garage spot, is going to the right.
Correct. And then what about the second floor?
Second floor is going to that right leader where the larger infiltration trench is proposed.
Oh, so it already does that?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, that's the way
Yeah,
the
it's
picture's
just that
framed,
front-
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So just that front garage area is generating enough to, spill over?
Well, during very bad storms,
Okay.
I can see the water just kind of, at least the path of it. It's not significant. It's just,
Yeah,
I swear I saw a downspout, though, coming down.
that's what I thought. If you zoom into that photo,
Dan, can you just move that a little bit?
that's a downspout coming from up top.
so the
left of the
center,
brick.
the center part goes down to that roof, but the other section goes the other way.
So one gutter goes two separate, so the gutter is pitched at the middle of the roof?
Peaked.
Right.
So one goes to the right, one goes
Right.
to the left? I mean, to your point, if we get them all to go one way,
If you get them all to go that way, then
Right.
you just have the 21 feet left. For the front, go with the optional infiltration ditch, just make it bigger.
yeah.
And then this way you pick up the garage. He's got 2 liters coming off the garage, and then the whole entire back of the house gets picked up. It's not perfect, but it's,
So now you're getting a gutter job.
I think the gutter job's probably easier than,
Gutter job wouldn't have to be the whole house, it would just be there, but to Mike's point, it's cheaper than an infiltration trench, and it's not disrupting
The front lawn.
the front lawn.
So, but you're not proposing that an infiltration trench in this be removed, right?
No, we're proposing that one on the right and on the side of the house, one on the back, right where you're demonstrating them. And then what Mike's suggesting, and I feel like the rest of us feel like it makes sense, is rather than have that gutter on your main roof in the front of the house, have it carry water all to the right. Not half of it goes to the garage rain leader and the other half goes to the other side of the
But
house.
the lower portion is still going to go.
The lower portion would only be carrying water from the front roof of the garage, which is way less, it's catching way less water.
Right.
it'd be half.
It's half, yeah, probably 50%, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you would be agreeable to? We're not trying to make you spend money. We're not. I know you probably are like, man, those first 2 went great. I wasn't expecting this.
No, they're legitimate concerns. I understand. I'm trying to get an understanding of if that's proposed, how does that change your mind in the plans that I have proposed here, right? So as far as I'm concerned, I'm following the BMPs. I'm not including the proposed or the existing trees because it's a large project. I have enough infiltration trench to mitigate back to the effective 18%. And now we're adding more things. So at what point is enough enough?
Yeah, what's happening is, unfortunately, because of the topography of your lot, right? So back when this house was built, stormwater wasn't the bugaboo it is in 2025, and quite frankly, that it's been for 15 years now, right? So when these situations come in front of us and you already have an engineer who's going to come out, he's going to design a stormwater management system for you, it's a good way for us to make sure that, hey, maybe we can do this and we capture all the stormwater on a lot, and it doesn't go, as little as possible goes into the storm sewer. So like your point is, guys, I'm mitigating, but because of the topography, water is, during heavy rains, how your downspouts are set up now, water will go down your driveway, it will go into the storm sewer, and it will not be captured. That's all. We're just trying to solve for future issues. And again, it's because nothing you've done, you didn't create this difficulty. It's the topography of the lot, it's on a crown, and we have the opportunity now. But I get the applicant's point of view, right, everybody? He's saying like, hey, you guys are telling me I gotta have a smaller patio, I gotta change my gutters, I need 2 infiltration trenches when I was hoping to get away with 1. We probably need to really talk about a compromise and come to a meeting of the minds. James, why don't you tell us your de minimis for him?
Yeah, so just looking at it, I guess if you're walking behind your garage, is that where your family room is? I'm assuming that's where the fireplace and the family room is?
Correct.
And that's where your slider would be to go out to the patio?
Yes.
And then on the opposite side, there was probably a dining room?
Right.
Is it windows or is that a slider?
Windows.
So I would push the left-hand side, so we're talking a 28 by 18 patio on the left-hand side, eliminating 28 by 18 feet on the right-hand side behind the dining room and kitchen.
I mean, James, can you get behind something a little wider since he came in front of us with 56 feet, or you really?
No, we can, yeah, I mean, I could probably go with something. What side of the or the family room is the slider? Is it more towards the breakfast, like the breakfast area, or more back towards the fireplace?
It's more towards the
Like the
breakfast
kitchen?
area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe push it over, and instead of 28, maybe 32 by 18, and kind of center it in the middle of the house. I mean, I don't want to design it.
I know, That's what, sometimes we run into that problem
Yeah.
where we start, people come in front of us, we start designing stuff.
Yeah.
Would it be better to come up with hey, here's what I came forth with square feet wise, and let's get it back to this. You figure out how.
Square footage what we would have to put into our decision.
Right.
So we would have to that would be the metric that we would use. And then in terms of how you design it would be okay, right?
Right.
Because you don't have any other issues like setback and stuff. At that point, we'd be doing square footage and let you design it. That would be just for the patio and the walkway.
So
Haven't heard-
how much of this is up to interpretation, right? Mine, depending on who you ask, right? And I'm just curious, depending on who you ask, this could be a lot of patio. This could be not a lot of patio, right? There's instances where you've approved more than what I'm asking for, as long as it's mitigated back to 18. But this is an issue, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it a little bit more black and white for myself. How can we come up with a?
I mean, for me, the basic answer is, what's the hardship of you needing a 56 by 18 patio?
Well, there's the stormwater mitigation, or the impervious surface requirements that were placed onto my house because it was a pre-1987 build, where other houses that were built afterwards can go up to 28%.
So no, that's not really the question. So we get what you're saying. That's really not a hardship, right? So what's the hardship that you need a Rockstar patio 56 foot wide? That's his question.
Mm-hmm.
That's James's question.
Yeah, it's really a 56-foot patio is atypical for anything anywhere in Yardley. There might be one, I don't know. It's very unusual. So what's the hardship to say I need a 56-foot long patio? And if it's just because I want a 56-foot patio, I get that. But unfortunately, it puts you in a position where you have to come before a board, and they have to say, well, okay, there's a hardship for a 56-foot patio.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I would be in favor of it. I think the size just needs to be scaled down, only to help. The other thing is, too, we're going to save you some dollars, because I believe we have a stormwater fee, and the more impervious surface you have on your property, the higher the tax is going to be. So,
Fee.
right?
Fee, not a tax.
Fee, I mean, fee tax.
I'd actually like to hear from the other three board members, because really what I don't want to do is have me and James hijack this decision. For all we know, the other three are totally behind you, Mr. Donovan, and so I mean we're not. It's not like we're going to vote out loud right here, but I mean, why don't we go one at a time? What are you thinking about, Christian?
So I like the 2 infiltration trenches he already has. I like the idea of having one in the front. I don't believe that having the electric and the internet out there, the FiOS or whatever you have, is a problem. They will come out and mark out. There's no way that it's going to crisscross your lawn in such a way that you can't add something out there. It doesn't even have to be out at the street all the way. It could be up closer to that sidewalk there. That is an awful large patio. I mean, I thought I had a big patio. Mine's the length of my house, but it's only 12 feet from the house out. And I'm still under the impervious surface of my property. I'm also looking at the length of the slab for the shed. That's a pretty long slab, even if you put a car in something. It's probably enough for a car and a half. I don't know. I mean, you're thinking out loud and planning for the biggest and the best for the future, whatever you pick. At some point, you got to maybe reel it in just a little bit.
And I want to be clear, too. Again, I don't want you to think oh, my God, I got to put a third infiltration trench in. You're going to be able to make that infiltration trench on the right side of the house, it's going to be able to be smaller most likely, okay? Because now, if you have the infiltration trench in front, again, I'm thinking you have electric, FiOS, and I'm assuming you have public water, public sewer that they run right next to each other, correct?
Right, yeah.
And I'm assuming they come in maybe right behind the garage? That's usually where they do in,
Actually, in the street photo that Dan had shown earlier, you could see markings in the street, blue and green for the water and the sewer.
Yeah, I mean, it pops up right there. You can.
There's markups there. That was the green one just to the right of the mailbox, and there's a blue one a little farther down.
so,
Sewer and water.
so to Christian's point, the utility companies will come out and they will mark it off for you, including FiOS, Pico, Dan, I guess, Aqua and Pennsylvania American Water probably?
Correct.
How often are they marking this stuff off for our neighbors, Dan?
I don't know about, I know that the PA one call will do.
Okay.
A lot of the utilities, I can't speak for the private sector utility companies, though. Or,
When I called, they came out, because I had the front yard marked. They did, I saw electric and Verizon at the time. There wasn't Comcast, and that's the only people that came out that I saw.
Okay. Larry, what are you feeling?
So if I understand you correctly, basically what you've done by virtue of the trenches is to say to yourself, okay, if I ameliorate the runoff with the trenches, how much additional impervious surface can I max out at on the house? Is that the way you looked at this?
So the design of the patio kind of came first, the
Okay.
general size of the patio, and then from there it was, well, how large of an infiltration trench do I need to create
Okay.
in order to mitigate it back to the effective 18?
Got it. And so I think to Mr. McCartney's point, you know, you're asking us to give you relief from an existing zoning requirement, however you got there, based on the age of the house and things of that nature, right? So there's a little bit of discretion on our part
Sure.
in terms of doing something like this, and it's obviously that we're all inclined to try and figure out a way to make it work for you. But I think as part of the process, it's kind of a two-way street, right? Where we're saying to you, we want to accommodate you, we want to make this work, but at first blush, the deck seems really large. And it's not for me to say whether or not that's appropriate or not appropriate,
Sure.
but I think it is for us to say on a comfort level basis that when we look at it, when we're trying to accommodate you in other areas, we would like an accommodation coming back to help us feel more comfortable with the impervious ratio.
So I brought about, what's this equal? About 1,400 square feet, right, that I want to add of impervious surface.
if you take out the,
If we landed at 1,100, how would you feel about that?
Dan, what would the effective, or what would the total rate be at 1,100?
just 1,100, not 288? Or,
You're saying 1,100 total?
1,100 total.
okay, let me do the math real quick, hold on.
Sorry, so I was asking him to take something else.
And then,
That's where the 288 came from. That's my bet, sorry.
No, you're good.
Mike, why don't you weigh in why Dan's doing those calculations?
Wait, so, it's also worth noting, too, that he's removing 320 square feet, so with the shed and the patio, the net increase is 1,080 square feet. So what am I doing the math for, 1,100? Because if it's 1,100 square feet, it would go up a little bit, because the net increase is 1,080 square feet.
Oh. Do you understand what he's saying?
There's currently a 320 square
Yeah,
foot
yeah.
patio behind my house.
Yeah. So, all right.
What is it with that 288?
What makes more sense? Because in other words,
One sec.
you said, what would it be at an effect? I mean,
You're adding 1,100 instead of adding 1,400,
1 sec, sorry, man.
and then subtract the,
Yeah, so it'd be
Well, it takes
1,100
the
minus 320.
So it takes it down to 23.
.8.
What about if you shorten the patio up to 18 by 40, that takes us down to 23. Change it down to 18 by 40, change the gutter direction, then it takes us down to maxing out at 23, and then he takes us back down to 18.
I think 40-foot wide patio versus 56 wide, I think it's pretty generous. Like, in other words, again, none of us want to redesign your house, none of us, but are you okay with a 40-foot wide one? You're losing 16 foot of width.
So I would rather, so yes, but I would rather talk about the total square feet, because if we decide, hey, maybe we want to do the length of the house, but it's designed in such a way that it's only a couple feet at one point and maybe it curls up. Right, so I don't want to say it's definitely going to be 40 feet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
'cause-
no, we're not going to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we would just basically, we would back out the 16 by 18, right? Because it's 56 foot wide, and
Right.
so we could basically, if your net increase is 1080, we would, what would 16 by 18 be? Minus 1080. That's what we would do. Do it like, even though you have the one corner on the one end, but we figure, you know.
That's 288 square feet, 18 by 16.
Just keep in mind, though, whatever number you come up with that you're agreeable, you just would subtract the 320, because that's what's the current patio, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, we would be benchmarking it off the total increase in impervious.
Okay.
Yeah, we would just benchmark.
I just want to make sure that was clear, because
Yeah,
I
I understand.
I don't want to, I don't want
Yeah,
to,
in other words, we don't even have to say that the patio is going to be X and the shed's going to be Y. I think that's what Mr. Donovan's asking, correct? Like, you may want to
Right.
get creative and maybe shorten your shed a little, and
Right.
you just want a benchmark bottom line. Okay.
Right.
So, James, how you feeling about 40 feet?
I mean, I guess you're bringing it in 8 feet on each side. I mean,
I think he's bringing it in 16 on the one side because there's a slider in the family room.
yeah.
Right.
That's kind of what he said earlier. I mean, listen, I have a 45-foot by 18-foot wide patio. I love it, but I'm not over my impervious, like Christian.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would lean towards that, as long as maybe we could do some other mitigation, the reroute of the gutter, as Mike said.
What would you prefer, to reroute your gutter system on the main house, not your garage, the main house, or investigate putting a third infiltration trench in your front yard? What makes more sense to you?
I think gutters.
Okay.
If I can avoid digging up in the front yard, I want to avoid digging the front yard.
I love it. You're not up here like trying to get your way and bullying us. You're like sincerely, you don't want that front yard touched. You
Might be-
wanna do
yeah.
those
I've
gutters.
already
significant more
cut through
cost
my
with the
own
equipment.
line, so I don't want to do that again.
might be cheaper, too, so that's good.
It does look the way that the crown of the house is and the way that the lots is that everything kind of goes over to that right side anyway, so that would make the most sense to move that water over that in that direction.
All right. So I think we've had enough questions and commentary. Let me see if there's any public comment in the room. Is there any public comment in the room? Rob, you're not up here to ask questions as a member of the board.
Well, I kind of sort of am.
No, he can, as an alternate member, you can participate. It's not like public comment. He's an alternate. He can make public comment. He's just not voting on the matter. But he can ask questions and all that stuff.
Rob is one of our alternates, and he has some questions.
I mean, I'm a township resident as well.
But yeah, no.
So the only other question that I really had was, is this serviced by gas?
It's all electric.
No.
Electric?
Yardley Hunt's all electric.
It's all electric? Okay. That's all I had a question for.
Unless you have the propane tanks, it's all electric.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Rob. Is there any additional public comment in the room? Is there any public comment online?
Yes, we have Michael online. Michael's coming in right now.
Thank you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Michael, you're about to be sworn in, so
Sir, would you state and spell your full name, please?
Michael Allard, Michael Allard.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
all right, Michael.
Thank you for the opportunity to comment. I'm the owner of a house on 957 Randolph Drive, which is adjacent to the backyard of Mr. Donovan, lot 63 on the plans. Historically, we've had significant problems from a flooding perspective on Randolph Drive backyards due to lower elevation of about 10 feet relative to Putnam Drive. Personally, we've been dealing with basement flooding issues for years, including the prior owners of the house. The concern is, I know there's been a lot of discussion around the water flow, I guess, on the front of the house. My question or concern is about the impact of the increase of impervious surface with that large of a deck and a shed, more on the backyard side of things. In that corner where you see the link to lot 63, we have a lot of water coming down in that area, which gets to the corner of our house on the other side. So I'm not an expert, of course, on those issues, but that's a concern.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, our experience is when, in this case, this applicant is at 19.1, he's trying to go to 25.6, he would mitigate back to 18, and he would be installing an infiltration trench on that side of his property, which our experience is that normally that would be a net positive for you. It's going to capture more water from his property. Obviously, it's not going to do anything for the property that is primarily behind you, that you back up to, because they're not in front of us and doing stormwater management, but this should be a net positive for you. That's how these infiltration trenches are engineered. Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense to me. I was wondering, given the placement of the infiltration trench, if that was going to your point, to help versus having it further down, closer to where our lot is, essentially, in the back.
So were you able to see the building plan earlier that our applicant?
Yes, I have it in front of me right now.
Okay, so yeah, that infiltration trench on the left, again, keep in mind, he didn't draw them to scale. That's where that second one would go, somewhere in that general area, which should help manage his stormwater so that it doesn't flow off the back of his property onto yours. Should.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I trust your expertise. As I said, I'm no expert on that side, but if you believe that this is actually going to be a net positive, that's great.
Great. Any additional questions?
Just to confirm, the property I'm looking at is the one with the pool, the solar, and the shed, correct?
That's correct. The lot 63, our property, yes.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Can I ask one more question? The rear lead on the left-hand side that feeds off to the smaller trench, is that picking up the entirety of the back of the roof of the second floor structure?
The low roof.
No, everything
It's
on the
split
back of
just
the
like-
house for the second, yeah.
It's split in the back?
Just
No.
like the front, yes.
No, the back is just one single that goes all the way across.
Okay.
Unlike the front where it's split, half goes over the garage, half goes towards the larger infiltration trench.
Does that rear go to the right side?
Yes,
Oh, that makes sense.
because there's no difference in roof level on the back of the house where there's a difference in the roof level on the front of the house.
Understood.
Okay. Any additional public comment? Thank you. So, Mike, I think you nailed it. Maybe you should make a motion.
I'm just going to need help with the total, what the square footage total of what we're going to approve.
So what's the dimensions?
So it's minus
I
this.
believe if you just say that you're reducing the square footage
So like 40.
that's presented by 288 square feet.
We can do that?
Yeah, or you could do it based on,
The dimensions.
no, the percentage. You want to do it that way. I mean, you could do it a
I think
number of
it'd
ways.
be, I think it'd be easier the former way, just because the percentage might,
Fluctuate.
yeah.
Okay.
Because we'll probably end up lower than 18 with the infiltration ditches, correct? Well, yeah. So I move to approve Appeal Z26-2 with the optional infiltration ditch, adding in the directional front gutter to the right-hand side infiltration ditch, and the reduction of the overall proposed square footage by 288 square feet.
Holy smokes, I think you nailed that, brother.
With mitigation
With mitigation,
back to 18%,
back to 18%,
subject to the approval of
subject to approval by the township
the engineer.
engineer.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
Excellent.
Did you say something about the gutters or no?
He did.
That was in there, okay. My bad. Direction towards the,
Discussion. James, how you feeling about that?
you know, it's a compromise, but not everybody's happy after a compromise, so it is what it is.
I'm sorry. Just so I'm clear, these 10 new 6-foot trees in the back, is that part of the calculations?
No.
No.
Now, that's just,
We don't discourage tree plantings of any kind.
Right.
However, they are not permanent. Trees can go down in a storm, they could be removed by a new homeowner or a new neighbor, and it changes all the calculations.
Right. So are you still planning on putting those in?
that was put in as.
I was still planning on putting them in, yes. But
Which
they're
would help
not.
with lots 63 and 64 also, right?
64 more so.
Or so, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay. Mr. Donovan, seriously, thanks for hanging in there. I know it wasn't perfect for you, and you don't get the rock star patio, but it's still a pretty nice patio, my man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, this meeting has gone on too long. We're going to have to adjourn it and continue. I'm just kidding, people. It's just, you guys just sat through a long one. It was too easy. All right, will the applicant? Date night? All right, would the applicants for Appeal Z-26-3 please come forward? You're both going to need to grab a microphone and speak into it.
Would you each please state and spell your full name?
Philip Murphy, Philip Murphy.
Mary Murphy, Mary Murphy.
You both solemnly swear or affirm testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the application as A1, site plans as A2, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
All right, Murphy's. I already know you know where this is going. You and your trees. But go ahead.
We were made aware, of course, yes. So we have, what's approved already is the pool and the coping. So that brings us to like 25.5 impervious. The limit is 26. What we're here for is the decking around the pool. That will take us from the 25.5 with the coping to 28.5 on the 26. So not looking for anything out of the ordinary, just 4 foot around with extra space on the shallow end just for 2 chairs. And that's that's pretty much it. We have the plan, what you see, has the 10 trees that were approved with the pool and then additional trees, but I've gotten the sentiment that trees are not, the answer. So we're clearly ready to pivot.
It's as simple as you're an engineer design a seepage trench for you or an infiltration trench. The township engineer will approve it, and we'll just ask you to mitigate back to the, Adam, are we going to ask them to go back to 26 or 25.5, where they're starting at?
I think under the township, they still have to do everything.
That's what I thought.
Everything that's added. Under zoning, you only need to go back to the limit, but to get their permitting through the township, they would have to offset all new impervious.
It's a 0.5%, so it's not like a big deal, but
Our original plans did have a seepage pit. We just, when we were going for the 10 trees, we were like, fit better with our landscaping plan. So we're not opposed.
You could still plant trees. We still
plant the trees if you want.
Yeah, yep, we will.
You'll like the privacy.
Yep. I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar, but we just had we're against Big Oak where the two.
Brand new
houses were
construction,
built.
right?
So they just put in a bunch of trees. We're planning on it, so we're in good shape.
All right. Board, questions?
I'm curious as to why you didn't do everything at one time when you went for the pool permit. Why didn't you do this at that same time?
I think the idea was we could start putting the pool in, but then we had like the coldest winter of all time. They could dig the pool, and then we would, settle the, come in here and do this in the winter. It just so happened that they haven't started any of the work at this point. So here we are, getting it all done at once now.
Okay.
So the pool is already dug out then?
No.
Oh, it hasn't been yet, okay.
been-
How's the,
been
how's
permitted.
It's just permitted?
Yeah, it's just been
How's the water situation back there? Because I know a couple of people that live on that street, and I know that it gets a little marshy.
It does.
Okay.
Yep. We have, along our privacy fence, we have a French drain that helps.
Okay.
And then Sam's done a lot of work, who's behind us to, kind of his and mine go this way towards each other.
Okay.
But he just planted several trees in the back, and then he's done irrigation as well. So, believe it or not, our yard is much drier than most of the others in the neighborhood. So, when we first moved in, it wasn't, but, all the work, behind that used to be all trees. I mean, it looked like this. Now there's two houses and there's no trees, right? So I think just from that, the sun hits it differently and it stays pretty dry.
Oh, it actually dries it out.
Yeah.
You guys are slab, no basement, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any additional questions? Any public comment online? Rob? You're the only public comment, the only person in the room. All right. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'd make a motion to appeal, to approve appeal number Z-2-6-3 for Murphy. And the specifics are the existing impervious surface not to exceed what, which one was it?
28.5.
28.5 is what's requested. Existing is 24.5.
The 28.5.
That's what we're requesting.
Correct, yep.
And mitigate back to 25.5 with an infiltration trench, subject to the approval of the township engineer?
Yes.
20,
Thanks for doing that. It's been a while.
James, it has been a while.
It's been a while.
You used to have this down
To be able
pat.
to-
But I think James was saying, all right, he wants to.
Didn't even see his lips move.
Appeal Z-26-3 with the actual of existing of 25.5%, going up to 28.5%, mitigate it back to 25.5%, using an infiltration trench subject to the approval of the township engineer.
Thank
Correct,
you, sir.
James?
That is correct.
Someone want to second James's motion?
I'll second that.
Discussion. Murphy's, you have anything you want to say?
Appreciate it. It's our first one.
Hey, we didn't vote yet, man. All you guys do.
We're just appreciative of the date night.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Nope. Motion's unanimous. Congratulations, good luck,
Thank you.
have fun, bring us some warm weather. Okay. Mr. Dan, what do you got for us? Adam or Dan, what do we need to discuss? We adjourn.
So there's going to be 2 meetings in March. The next meeting, which is March 3rd. The 71 Manor Lane, Ed Murphy, Such DeLuca, that got a they are doing a continuance request to the 17th of March, and there's one new one on March 3rd, so that'll be a very quick meeting. And then March 17th has the car wash, so that'll take up the bulk of that
So
meeting.
DeLuca and the car wash on the 17th?
Yeah, so there's one other, which I'm
There's
forgetting.
also a remand of
Yes.
the Umansky one, which is the age-restricted the 16 requested, 15 that were approved. That was appealed. There was a procedural issue. So all the, when we had a conference, or it's called a Rule 27 conference with Judge Yeager in Doylestown, we decided, or we all agreed to have it remanded back to the zoning board so that the Mr. Nemiroff, Bob Nemiroff, on behalf of several of the neighbors, can cross-examine the experts in that matter. I'm going to see who we had. I'd like to see if we can have the same configuration of the board, obviously with the understanding that Judy is no longer on the board. So it's not entirely possible to have a complete replication, but that way everyone's familiar. And if it has to be that it's different, I'll ask that everyone who is participating that wasn't previously either watch the video from the first time, review the minutes, and that way you're up to speed on what exactly was discussed. But it'll be a very limited proceeding just for cross-examination, and then the attorneys will make brief argument to the board, and then you'll re-vote based on that additional testimony.
Will that be open to other?
No new evidence, no new witnesses, and I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Other public comment?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the judge's order was specific that it is for a limited purpose, for Mr. Nemiroff to cross-examine and for counsel to then make argument to the board before the board votes.
Got it.
We are voting again.
Correct, because it's remanded. Additional evidence in the form of testimony of cross-examination of those witnesses will take place, and then you'll have to re-vote based on that, if that moved the needle for you or not.
And procedurally, we're going to be short Judy.
I'm Peter.
No,
Peter's technically an alternate.
So he could still be here.
So he could do it. I'm going to go through a couple of the notes, and then I'll shoot out an email to the board just to, but again, if there is a change, because obviously since Judy is not here, whoever takes that place, again, we just have to get up to speed, watch the video, and read the minutes, and that way you'll kind of know what happened and what the issues were.
Who were the 5 board members the night of the DeLuca matter? Peter was here, wasn't he?
No, it was Bob instead of
Okay, so
Larry.
Bob was here?
Instead of Larry.
James, was that your first here?
That was my first one, yeah.
So me, you, Bob.
Larry and Mike, you
Christian and
Mike, you were online.
Okay, so, and that is, I'm sorry, that's the 17th, correct, Dan?
No, that's,
That one's next meeting.
Oh, that's the 3rd.
No, he's saying they asked for an extension.
That's going to be continued.
that's going to be continued, so it'll be on the 17th.
Yeah, the other one on the
17th.
3rd
That's what I'm
is,
saying, so it will be, we'll be hearing that on the 17th.
Correct,
So we're doing the DeLuca, the car wash, and the remand all on the 17th?
correct.
yeah, the remand should be limited, so it should not be as involved as the original go-round, because it's just cross-examination.
Was there any discussion on whether or not the appropriateness of that application being in front of the zoning hearing versus the Board of Supervisors? Was that addressed at all?
Are you confusing Banyan?
Oh, I might be confusing Banyan,
Yeah,
I'm
correct.
sorry.
That's
Okay, different
that was
one.
Banyan. I was
Okay,
about
my
to say,
bad.
what-
Yeah, my
No,
bad.
that one, there was 2 variances that were requested. The board, because of the condition that they put on it, reduced the amount of units from 16 to 15, which eliminated one of the variances. So then, instead of the two requested, it was just one that was granted.
Got ya.
'Cause
Okay.
the other was no longer applicable.
Okay.
So excluding, this question is not directed to you, Larry. The three other board members sitting up here with me, are you all available on the 17th for the part 2 of DeLuca?
I'm available all the time.
As long as you're bringing Guinness.
And then, Rob, would you just come up and speak in the microphone and just clarify that you'll be available on the 17th, please? Because I don't want them to show up with their attorney and we don't have an odd number of board members. Are you available on the 17th to re-participate in the DeLuca matter?
I am.
Perfect, thank
Good
you.
man, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, you get that, right? It doesn't make sense for them to show up with.
No, for sure.
With their attorney.
And then Jim will be doing that meeting. I'll be on vacation that day, so.
No, that's not going to do. Anything else that we need to talk about?
No.
No, I want to give, in the spirit of the Olympics, I want to give the board a gold medal for getting through the Donovan one. Part of the reason I think this board is so great is because you're great problem solvers and you try to figure out what's fair, what's too much, what's okay, what's not okay. And I thought you did a great job tonight with that.
I thought Mr. Donovan did a great job. He stayed calm, cool, and collected, and he asked some really prescient questions. I loved when he was like, I don't understand why, like, what, help me understand how you guys are doing this, basically to me, but you don't do it to everybody. And
No, you guys do. And again, want to welcome Larry. James, you're back as well, so it's good to have new voices on the board.
all right. Who wants to make a motion to adjourn tonight?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.